G'day, 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 ladies and gentlemen, and all those in between. Welcome back to another episode of Inside the Mind, where as a Chapter 1, Season 1 veteran, I'm going to be bringing you guys the latest and greatest tips, tricks, strategies, and more to winning not only more games, but more crowns in Fortnite Chapter 6. So if you guys are keen, as always, to see if we'll be able to send it back for the crown win here, make sure you guys do hit that like button, and you hit that subscribe button. Alright, we're trying out the power plant for today's episode. I figure we'll try and give it a go. Alright, we did. Look, preferably I do like to try and land over at the slurp truck, just around the corner here, around the outskirts of this POI. But for now anyway, this will definitely do. You know, because when you're trying to find a drop spot, guys, straight out of that battle bus, one of the more key and sort of important things, at least in this Fortnite Simpsons mini-season, is going to be that it's a very small map. You know, and I see this comment being brought up quite a lot of times, you know, all throughout the chat there, is that, but the map is so small, I'm seeing every player land at every POI, and there's just not many POIs, so it feels quite intense, you know, a lot of the time. And I think, you know, if you guys are having troubles with that, one thing you guys can do is maybe not just land straight away, you know, try and go somewhere a little bit off that beaten path, and really, you should be able to notice a dramatic improvement, at least in terms of your initial longevity there. So we'll get the full shield up now. Of course, we want to be a little bit cautious of those windows, especially considering they will not stop the bullets. All right, if you guys get shot through a window here, unlike the car windows, you're actually going to take the damage immediately. All right, they will not actually prevent any of that. So we're going to just maybe go inside here, continuously rotate around. We're going to try and loot up. Now, if we can find other players, that would be great as well. But at the end of the day, you know, we're definitely going to not be trying to really rush our time here. There's no real need to do that. And it's definitely going to be something else as well that I'm doing differently this season compared to past seasons. Alright, so if you guys have been watching us for a while, if you've already pressed those two buttons, you will all know well and truly just what our strategy is. We like to be pretty aggressive, right? I feel like an aggressive playstyle in Fortnite has tended to be one of the more exceptional ways to sort of get those wins, you know, to increase the probability. But this season, considering just how small the map is, you know, you're going to notice it's a little bit trickier at times. And you know what? Sometimes it might actually just be better to be a little bit safer. Alright, so the rap meta is officially in. And that's okay. You know, I know there's going to be a lot of times out there on these episodes where I've given a lot of flack to the rap meta, where I'll say, look, is the rap meta back in Fortnite Chapter 6? But this is probably going to be one of the only times where I feel like it genuinely is. Like, no clickbait aside, bushes, I mean, are quite literally graphically incentivized for rats. With that cell shading, you know, you're going to be able to hide in these bushes pretty much effortlessly. And players will just not really be able to see you at all. So definitely a lot of potential there. Now there is some shots around this backside here. I'm going to definitely rotate our way in. But what I would really like to see here is going to be a car. You know, I feel like getting that shockwave is going to help. But what we really want here is going to be a vehicle. Now traveling in the water is never going to be your best bet. In hindsight, I probably should have actually grabbed that blinky and just jumped off here. But look, we're already down here, so we're just going to run with it. Of course, trying to use as much mobility mechanics as possible, whether it just be jumping on an umbrella like that and then going into the bunny hop slide. Oh, we've got some footsteps. You know, and I think that's another thing that is really going to be helpful, guys, is just by playing off footsteps a lot more than at least you did before. Just another player behind us there. Not too sure where he is exactly. Right, he does get off, of course, a cheeky splash there. I want to move back up to the high ground. Alright, we can go and grab his stuff now. We did take a lot of damage here, which is not going to be great. We will go for the Krusty plus 2 of these slurps. Because the Krusty will heal both your white health and your blue. Okay, yeah. Might have missed that up just a little bit, but that's okay, guys. He does, of course, drop us some shields here. I will be going for that. And look, you know what? I think we just get on out of here, right? I don't think there's anything else we need to really stay for, especially considering this crown is going to be alerting a lot of players to our location. You know, we do not want to be waiting around for these players. We want to get in, we want to get out. Right, we've got our shield. We've also got some heals here, which we can use. But I'm going to try and save them. You know, I don't really want to use these heals just yet. I kind of just want to make sure, look, is my gun reloaded? There's a player over there. You know what, I might actually, we'll try our luck with this NPC. So these NPCs, guys, if you go up and talk to them, they will have a chance of dropping, well, they will give you always, but it's a random sort of healing item there. So it could be a bandage, you know, it could be all sorts of mischief there. Just want to see, because he did, there he is. I'm going to try and rotate around to the left side, following where he is running to. And now we can sort of go back in here. We'll grab his loot, and we're going to try and make our way a little bit closer to the center of the zone. Alright, now I do not want to be waiting, or at least running around next to the road here. I want to be sort of going off track, right? I want to be going off into the bushes. We're going to go check the mini-map here. We've got forecast over there, which could be nice. I'm just going to crouch here so the old mate in the car doesn't actually see our footsteps. And we're going to crouch around, and we're going to make our way. I would dare say, where can we find a car? We might be able to find one around here, here, or here. Of course, guys, cars are going to be very, very they're going to be very, very seldom to find, right? It's going to be hard to come by these cars. So if you guys do find one, do try and take advantage of it. Alright, and as well as doing that, make sure you guys do, make sure you hit that like button, you know, and you hit that subscribe button, and use creator code SurelyItsButter the next time you're in the item shop. Alright, but we are going to come around now and try to take advantage of this high ground. So doing this, guys, is another key and critical thing when it comes to trying to secure yourself those wins in your Fortnite game. Alright, so we do have a G-Wagon over there. I've only got 3 shockwaves, which isn't a lot in my opinion. I would like to, of course, have a full stack, but look, the beggars can't be choosers, and the butter will be smooth. So let us go over here now and try and grab this car before the donuts obliterate it. Now, apparently there's something about a golden donut that you can hit to get some stuff. But you know what? We're going to quickly grab this. We're going to head on out now, and we're going to go and make our way into the town square. So I'll have a little look and see if the Jebediah head is there. I know some players are going to like the Jebediah head. It is still there. It seems like players have just completely given up on grabbing it. So if you guys do not already know, to grab that Jebediah head, just hit it with your pickaxe. Right, it should fall off the statue. We can make our way now up and around. Where is this? There it is. Alright, I think the forecast tower is done. So we might have missed that. That's okay. You know, it's not the end of the world. We'll rotate on out now. Try and just come around to the side here. And we'll take the long way back into zone. So... oh, hello, Sweaty McGee. We're just going to try and get out of there. That's a 1v3. Well, technically, potentially, yeah, no, 1v3 including the bot. So, there should be a fuel station, actually. It's not going to be in zone. That's alright. We'll keep on moving. We'll go and heal up inside here. We do have an NPC for our taking, so we'll do that. Do get a med kit. Not the greatest thing in the world, but you know what? We're going to take it anyway. Old mate coming inside here. I think he knows that we're inside. Now, what do we do, guys? We're in the outskirts of zone. We've got a guy on top of us in the building. Our car is nearly destroyed. You know, he could be waiting for us. In fact, that's what I would be doing if I was him. I would be waiting for us here. And it's going to be risky. If we go for this car, we could blow up. We could definitely take a whole lot of damage there. Checking the 6. He was on top of the building. So we're going to quickly just make our way around whilst he is distracted, and we're going to try and get some positional advantage here. So when you guys are running a little bit behind that 8 ball, you know, when things haven't been going exactly to plan, you want to try to secure your fundamentals, right? So one of the fundamentals that you want to try and secure is going to be your positioning. So try and find some area with high ground, maybe some natural cover. I'm thinking buildings around here could be quite nice. I'm also keeping an eye out for other cars as well. And we're going to just come around to the back here. We do have the Marge NPC down there. I think someone just killed it, so we're just going to quickly drive around to this cliff here. There is another car down there. Alright, so we're going to go for this car. Right, it's going to be an absolute beautiful advantage to have here. I'm trying to think if we just go for this. Try and just take her down sooner rather than later. We do not want to let players see her on the map and then come to us, right? So she will drop the mythical compact SMG there. Not something we're going to be taking, but you know, something we're going to acknowledge as one of the mythics, right, for this season, which is fair enough. You know, it's going to be something. It just won't be something that I'm going to be picking up. I think if there's a mythic that I would like to grab, it's probably going to be the mythical tactical shotgun. Alright, this is something that I've been told 2 hits players. Right, I've been told it's crazy, and it's definitely something that I really want to see more of. So we do have a crown player dropping a crown over here. Jados the Penguin. This is really great timing to really take advantage of them, especially because it kind of means that, you know, they've taken a bit of damage. We know that they got into a fight. Whether or not they took damage, of course, is, you know, TBD, but we got the high ground here. I also like the fact that we've got some rocks as well as this little hut here, which could be really, really nice. I'm going to go play around this rock here. Alright, there goes Anonymous dropping the crown. Oh, his head is just peeking up above that house oh so smallly, oh so lightly. Alright, is he going to go for the items? I was kind of hoping he did, but we've got more donuts over there, as well as this zone moving up. So we're going to go move with the zone again here. This is, of course, where having forecast would come in handy. Right, that ability to sort of see these zones in advance and position yourself a lot closer so that you don't need to, you know, do what I'm doing here and really risk a very long traversal sort of maneuver here. So we're going to go grab this high ground. Again, not a lot of kills this game. It's definitely been a quieter game, but I think it's been I believe it's been an exceptional example of how to just play, you know, an average game of Fortnite. You know, sometimes it's not about just lobby wiping, getting 13 plus kills. Sometimes it's simply just about trying to do your best with looting up, staying to cover, and playing around the other players in the lobby efficiently. Right, especially with regards to how you use your gun around them too. So we've got a lot of high ground here. I'm trying to check these areas. Is that a player there? It is a player there. It's a guard. Someone jumping up around the corner there. When you do go for these plays, you will run the risk, of course, of giving away your positioning, which is fine. You know, he's in a fight at the moment. This is clearly a really good player as well, judging by his movement. What I am going to do, though, is I'm just going to reposition. I would love to get on top of that steam stack, but what we might do is I might just come around the backside here. Now, I'm not going to speed up with that boost. I'm going to just keep it as is. Alright, we do have one of the guards there. I just want to sort of hide from that area. Right, we do have Jados the Penguin now spectating us. Alright, let us see top 4. Fire Flames going down to Rickety Rocket. I want to go in here. I want to try and get this kill, but the reason why I'm not... Yeah, there we go, the zone. I was a little bit unsure about that zone. Also, the nuclear power plant is a very dense area. There's a lot of places for players to hide. And look, it's just very, very risky to try and go in, right? This is something that you want to be a little bit more cautious of. And now our fuel is finally coming to an end here. So I would like to maintain high ground, so I'm not going to go down here because I want to rotate just around to the side. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to park our car like this. And I'm going to park it underneath this little hill edge here. And that way we can hop in, we can take it on out there. Alright, we can hide behind this. And we can also catch players off guard. And you know what, actually? I feel like this might be a nice place as well to go and hide. Or at least, there he is. He's inside the bush. I'm going to just hide in this for a second. I think he's sticking out. He should be around there or there. A little bit unfortunate. Alright, let us not waste our ammunition here. We're going to continue to hide this car behind the bush because we don't want him to remove this car. You know, we're going to want to play this car off as our very own Come out to the left, please. As our very own portable cover here. He does shockwave away closer. If he's jumping into that fight, let's move up. We'll destroy this bush. Alright, now they're shockwaving around to the side there. I would love to third party this. Alright, there he goes. He does go down. We want to try and force this before he can heal up, but I'm pretty sure he's going to heal up. We will be forced off of this. Oh no. We're going to be out of fuel as well. Try and just maneuver it to the southern side here. And we're going to try and make our way up on top of the high ground. Well played to him. That's some excellent movement there. Definitely messed up with the weapon switch there with the shotgun at the very start of that fight, so could have done a bit better there, but all things considered, pretty average game. Look guys, if you did enjoy that episode though, do let me know down below in the comments section your thoughts, any queries, comments or concerns. Make sure to hit that like button, you hit that subscribe button, and as always, take care, Garnier.